Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week of Wednesday Night Dash presented by Stadium Scene TV. Tonight we have the Bristol night race in lovely Bristol, Tennessee. Real quick, let's take a look at the track stats for tonight. Bristol Motor Speedway was opened in 1961. It is 0.53 miles long, a quick little half mile with 24 to 28 degrees of banking, so it's a fast half mile. Session rules for tonight is a 40-minute practice, 5-minute closed qualification, and 100 laps, or a 45-minute race with a competition caution at lap 50. Now, real quick, let's give some love to our friends at the House of Hockey podcast. On this week's House of Hockey, Breezy and Ray discussed the fallout from the 2018 Team Canada hockey scandal where 5 players have been put on leave. Next, they move on and discuss who is hot and who is not in the NHL, followed by a PWHL update, including a surprise appearance of Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau in the Ottawa game. Tune in for House of Hockey Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern right here on Stadium Scene TV. Now, we had something cool happening last Saturday. It was the AFSP 200 race. Let's take a quick look and go to our point standings as I introduce this. The AFSP 200 was a big success last weekend. We raised $1,350 for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and we'll be back again next January with the second annual race. The replay can be found over at Apex Racing TV. The strength of field was 1,923, and there were several very talented drivers in the field. And real quick, let's run through the drivers that participated in the AFSP 200. Starting out, finishing top 10, or P10, was Jesse Fox. Then finishing P12 was Fernando Takahashi. P14 was Mark Vickers. P17 was Brian McKinney. P18 is Bill Mulfield. P19 is Eric Richardson. P21 was DJ Fluck. And P22 was Colton Gardner. Now, speaking of Bill Mulfield, he is going to be making the series debut today. He'll be joining the series driving the car number 911. So look for him. He looks fast. He is the owner of WJ Mulfield Motorsports and teammate of Fernando Takahashi. WJ Mulfield were the people that helped Stadium Scene and iRacing put on the AFSP 200. So it's cool to see them come along and join us. Last week, John Miles won his first Wednesday Night Dash race in only his second start, with his teammate Lane Snow finishing in the top 5. Last week was also the first dual podium for iRacing, which is Eric Richardson and DJ Fluck, P2 and P3 respectively, since the 2022 ARCA race when Eric Richardson won his first Wednesday Night Dash race. We should see the return of Justin Neves making his season debut this week. Now, real quick, before the drivers are all in their qualifying right now, but let's take a run through the point standings as they run after 3 races. Leading the way is Colton Gardner with 124 points. Then Jesse Fox is second with 98 points, and then Brian McKinney actually tied for second with 98 points as well. Then we have Eric Richardson and Fernando Takahashi both sitting at 96 points. Then we have DJ Fluck sitting at 92, Dylan Behrens sitting at 88, Mark Willett 87, John Miles 72, Lane Snow 63, Tyler Vickery 55, Andrew Hewitt 30, Ian Miller 29, Mark Vickers 25, and Justin Neve, Jax Milan, and Bull Mulfield are all sitting at 0, but I'm pretty sure they won't be sitting at 0 for very long. The drivers are in qualifying as of right now, and it looks like, oh, real quick, let's take a look at our schedule. Almost forgot the schedule. This week at Bristol is our last week of January. February starts tomorrow, closing out January strong at Bristol. But then next week we head to Phoenix Raceway. That's going to be really fun. Then we head to the road course race. We go to Charlotte. We go to the Charlotte Motor Speedway Roval, which is going to be very, very interesting. Then after Charlotte, we're going to close out February at Indianapolis, at the Indianapolis Oval. And starting off March, we're going to start March off strong with Texas. Then we're going to go to Dover and then close out the season at Kansas at night, which is going to be very, very, very fun. And I think most of their drivers, we have 13 drivers here tonight, and it looks like most of them are working on their qualifying laps still. Looks like most people have their laps down, but so we'll just see here. We got about a minute and a half left for qualifying. Just waiting for these drivers to get the rest of their laps down. It looks like everybody is off the track as of right now. Eric Richardson's sitting on pit road, running a brand new paint scheme, the Disturbed paint scheme, which is really cool. Running their new album. I know Disturbed is out touring right now. Disturbed is one of my favorite metal bands. And actually, as of right now, Eric Richardson is sitting on the pole. So with only about 50 seconds left on the clock, we're going to see how they fall. It's definitely going to be very interesting. Bristol is one of the most challenging racetracks that a stock car driver can do, just because of the immense, like, the banking. You don't expect it because it is basically just a short track, but with so much banking in the corners, you really have to judge how you get into the corner so you don't wreck as you exit, because you definitely can spin out as you exit each of the corners. Looks like qualifying is just now about to end. As we go now, as we're going to start the pre-race activities. Head back over. All right. Starting on pole is Eric Richardson, and P2 is Colton Gardner. Good run for Eric. Running P3 is going to be Ian Miller. Good run for him as well. And P4 is going to be Brian McKinney. Then running P5 is going to be Fernando Takahashi, and P6 is going to be Jesse Fox. Now running in P7, we're going to have John Miles, and P8 is going to be Dylan Behrens. P9 is going to be Mark Willett, and P10 is going to go to Lane Snow in that American Airlines paint scheme. P11 is going to go to DJ Fluck, and P12 is going to go to Bill Mulfield. That'll be your starting lineup for today. Let's head back trackside to see what's going on down there. Looks like everybody is still... looks like we're still waiting. Oh, and then they're going to start. They're going to roll off now. Let's see if we can hop and get a quick interview with Eric Richardson before this race gets going. Eric Richardson, it's Hunter in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, I got you.
All right, man. Rolling off P1 today. How you feeling?
Feel happy with that, but it's Bristol and it's a bull ring, so you never know what could happen.
Yeah. You looked fast in practice, and you put that thing on pole. So have a good race today.
Thank you.
Gonna be interesting seeing what Eric Richardson can do in that number 13 Disturbed machine. Colton Garner running his usual French Broad Fire and Rescue. Always lovely to see. Looks like we got some new colors coming from the 48 machine. And Brian McKinney looks like he's running the McDonald's number 8. That thing looks nice. Then we got Jesse Fox in the Sunoco colors. Then we got Fernando Takahashi in the Extreme Sim Racing. But it looks like they're about to roll off green here as the pace car is getting ready to dive on to the safety of pit road. And they're under the control of Eric Richardson. The green flag is out here at Bristol. Side by side as they enter turn 1. As Colton Garner gets a pretty good launch off the top. But Eric Richardson's able to keep that thing straight on there. As they come to the line, Eric Richardson's going to lead lap 1. Eric Richardson pulls away, but looking back in the field, there's still 2 by 2 by 2. They start to go single file now, looking at the back of the pack. There's a bit of a battle between Lane Snow and John Miles. And Fernando Takahashi and Dylan Behrens. Now Takahashi's looking to try and get past the 48 of Ian Miller. But is able just to fall in line. And as they run right now, Eric Richardson actually pulling away from the 40 of Colton Garner. Doing a great job so far. That battle between Ian Miller and Fernando Takahashi rages on. Fernando looks to the inside. Is going to be even with him. But with the progressive banking here at Bristol, isn't really able to make a move on the bottom. Got Dylan Behrens in the number 1 looking now to try and make a move on this battle. He's just sniffing it out as of right now. All of these drivers are still under a blanket. Colton Garner trying to hunt down the Disturbed machine of Eric Richardson. He's able to close the gap in a little bit. Looks like Colton Garner's taking a slightly more aggressive line into the corners. But it seems to be hurting his drive off just slightly. Right now, these drivers are just trying to figure out the best way to get through here. Back. Brian McKinney looking to the high side of Fernando Takahashi. Fernando's got to close that door, or that McDonald's machine is going to be right in his mirror. Looks like everyone gets settled down pretty quickly, but these 5 are still all under a blanket right now. Then we got a bit of a blinking coming from the 5 of Lane Snow. But it's not really a huge issue just yet. Looks like Ian Miller is getting into the wall just a bit. Oh, Fernando Takahashi touches the 69 of Jesse Fox, but they're able to keep it. They're able to keep it clean, but that's going to allow Brian McKinney to get right up underneath of the 69 machine. I'm actually very impressed that they kept that. They kept from wrecking there. They were side by side, touching, going down the back straightaway. But they're able to keep it going strong. Already 15 laps down from in this thing. This thing's clicking by quick already. Looking back up front, Colton Garner trying to make a move on the inside of Eric Richardson. Isn't able to make it work just yet. Colton Garner just studying Eric Richardson's line, just trying to see where Eric makes his mistake and where the 40 can capitalize it. Eric Richardson actually looking quite loose coming off of turn 4 there. Was able to keep it straight. The 40 looking low once again. They're going to be side by side. Eric Richardson looking really loose. He needs to get a grip on his race car. Eric Richardson up into the wall just a bit. It's going to have a run as they're door to door as they enter into the corner once again. Eric Richardson using that progressive banking to keep his fight alive for the lead. But it looks like he's going to yield that spot. Oh, just kidding. He's still fighting hard. Eric Richardson fighting as hard as he possibly can. But it looks like he's going to yield his lead to the 40 of Colton Garner. But now Ian Miller looks like he wants a piece of this pie too. Strong run from Ian Miller, sitting comfortably in 3rd place. As it looks like Mark Willett is on pit road. Maybe he had an incident or something. Not really too sure yet. Jumping back to the 99, the 69, the number 8, and the number 1. All 4 of these cars are all under a blanket. 2x2s they run. The number 8 getting a little squirrely there. But Jesse Fox in that 69 machine trying to get past the 99 of Fernando Takahashi, but the progressive banking is not allowing him to get clear. The run that the top line gets going through the corners is just insane. But so far been a pretty clean race, other than maybe a little tiny touches, but it's been a very clean race. The number 1 and the number 8. The number 1 is blinking kind of a lot, and that's kind of making these drivers nervous. I can tell Brian McKinney in that number 8 machine is running kind of cautiously because of the way. Oh, and DJ Fluck is up in the wall, but luckily is able to keep it out of everybody else's way. But the number 1 of Dylan Berenz is able to get past the 99 of Fernando Takahashi. And now Brian McKinney is looking underneath of the 99 as well. When you have a blinking car like the number 1, it makes everyone around you just 10 times more nervous. In an already nerve-wracking racetrack like Bristol, just having a blinking car just throws everything through the loop. These cars still side by side, fighting super hard. And we're already 30 laps into this thing. Jumping back up front real quick, take a look at Ian Miller and Colton Garner. Ian Miller trying to put the pressure on Eric Richardson. Colton Garner actually starting to make his way through lap traffic now, through the 911 of Bill Molefield, making his season debut. Looks like there's going to be no lap traffic anytime soon. The next car would be the 8 of or the number 5 of Lane Snow be the next lap car. So Colton Garner putting on the pressure for these back markers already. Colton Garner visibly quicker than the number 5 and is able to get around him cleanly. Then the next lapped car is not until Mark Willett. It's still got a good bit of track. Eric Richardson actually gets held up by the number 5 of Lane Snow, and that's going to allow Ian Miller to have a huge run. And now these two are battling hard for that silver medal. As of right now, Eric Richardson has that preferred line on the top, so is able to keep his position, but don't know how long he can hold on to it. The fight between these two is growing stronger and stronger. It's basically just a battle of who can run closer to the wall, who can keep their car alive the longest as they run close to the wall. Looks like we got a couple more battles starting to ricochet up. Jesse Fox and the number 1 of Dylan Behrens in a really tight battle, but they have the lapped car of Bill Mulfield in the 911 machine. That's going to allow Dylan Behrens to get past Jesse Fox. But these two are still in one heck of a heated battle as we're already almost to the stage break. Only about 8 laps away now. Feels like this race has clicked off in like 10 minutes. This race has gone by so fast so far. All eyes are on this battle right now. Ian Miller gets a really good jump and is able to get clear of Eric Richardson there. So move Ian Miller to that position 2 spot as they got a handful of lap traffic in front of them. That is the 99 of Fernando Takahashi and the number 5 of Lane Snow. Ian Miller does a good job of getting around the 99 and is on the hunt. Now Colton Garner already doing a great job setting a 3-second gap on Ian Miller with only about 5 laps to go here on the stage. Jesse Fox and Brian McKinney are now getting a last lap dash battle with only about 4 laps to go to the end of the stage. Brian McKinney is able to get to the inside. Is he able to hold his ground? Not yet, but it looks like he's going to get clear now. Move Brian McKinney up to that number 5 spot. But just looking back on the track by just a bit. So this is going to be an interesting strategy call because the battle for the lucky dog is between Fernando Takahashi and Bill Mulfield. Actually, as of right now, Fernando Takahashi is the only driver lap down. As long as Colton Garner does not put another driver a lap down, it doesn't look like he will. So Fernando Takahashi is going to be your lucky dog winner, and for everybody on back, being Bill Mulfield, John Miles, Lane Snow, and Mark Willett and DJ Fluck, it's going to be interesting to see if they take the wave around or how they're going to play this lapped car strategy. Oh, and actually it looks like DJ Fluck has joined me in the booth now.
Hello there, good evening.
Hello.
Hope your evening's going better than mine.
Yeah, does it look like you decided to throw in the towel early?
Yeah, I had a little bit of an incident, and I realized like this isn't going well, and I decided to throw in the towel. So, very dominant performance by Colton. He lapped nearly half the field in that first stint.
Yeah, and as they all come down pit road now, let's see who can get in and out quicker. There goes Colton. Let's see the battle between... Actually, John Miles gets a good jump. Dylan Behrens gets a good jump as well. And actually, Eric Richardson was managed to leapfrog Ian Miller. So Eric Richardson is back in that position 2 spot as they all catch back up to the pace car. Oh yeah, DJ, I want to issue an apology. I listened to the to the last week's episode of Garage Talk, and I'm sorry for calling that it was your first podium. That was a honest mistake on my part.
No worries. We don't do a great job of record keeping here. That's something I'm hoping to correct here soon. So, no worries on that. And by the way, congratulations.
Thank you.
I I didn't want to say anything before I knew that it was in the plans for you, but I don't know if you've said anything yet, or if am I allowed to embarrass you?
No, you can go ahead. It's fine.
So Hunter went down to the Rolex 24, and he came back as an engaged man. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a really fun trip. I over the 4 years that I've been dating my girlfriend, I've convinced her to enjoy racing. So, like, it was the perfect opportunity because I wanted to go to the Rolex 24, but I also wanted her, like, I wanted to have her experience that too, because she actually enjoys sports car racing a lot. And maybe not more than NASCAR, depending. But I know that she really enjoys sports car racing, so it was like the perfect opportunity. And I actually proposed to her Saturday night. We went out to dinner, and then we went back to the racetrack. After I proposed, we went back to the racetrack and saw the Rolex 24 like nighttime stints.
So you didn't have to battle the car noise for that.
No. I thought about doing it at the racetrack, but like, I don't know. I'm a clumsy person, and I also lose things a lot. So the safety of our hotel room was where I did it. But the pace car, not to interrupt, but the pace car is back off of the racetrack, and the green flag is back out here at Bristol. Colton Garner gets a really good jump. And the battle right now is between Dylan Behrens and Eric Richardson for that P2 spot. Eric Richardson gets a good launch off that high side and is able to keep his momentum alive. Looking back through the field, everybody gets single file pretty quickly, actually. But the battle right now is between that number 1 and the number 13 machine. And it actually looks like the number 1 of Dylan Behrens has yielded the spot to Eric Richardson for now. Good, strong run from him tonight, running that disturbed paint scheme. He put that thing on pole and has been in the top 3 all night. A really strong run from Eric Richardson.
Also ran that paint over the weekend at the AFSP 200 charity race, which I'm proud to say we raised $1,450 for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Had a great time, great race, and gave away a lot of cool prizes. So thank you to everybody who tuned in, who donated, who raced with us. It was definitely a great time.
Yeah, definitely. It's unfortunate that I missed that. I would have definitely liked to be a part of that, but yeah, it's just the way that things work. Maybe I'll be available for next year's, because I definitely wanted to be a part of that.
We debated for a long time if we would do that the weekend of the Rolex. I'm like, it shouldn't impact too many people, but there were probably 3 or 4 that weren't able to race because they went.
Yeah, there was definitely a very, very massive crowd there at Daytona last weekend. I think they were saying it was the record. It was a record crowd for the Rolex 24, which is definitely cool to see.
I did see that, but I don't think they posted an attendance number, so they're kind of doing some NASCAR there with the record, but what's the number?
Yeah, I don't know, but we were there on Saturday night. We were there until 1:30 in the morning, and there was still a solid number of people there. With like the whole infield was still packed even at 1:30 in the morning. So people definitely showed up, and then on Sunday afternoon and Saturday afternoon, it was like just like any primetime NASCAR race. Like, it was like at some points you were like shoulder to shoulder with people through like the fan zone and stuff like that. Like there was a lot of people there. But actually, while we were chit-chatting, Dylan Behrens managed to hunt down and take back that position 2 spot and is actually on the move to hunt down Colton Gardner. Colton Gardner not getting the jump that he had in the first half. Dylan Behrens actually putting a threat only about half a second away now. And as I run that last time by, Dylan Behrens ran about an equal lap time to Colton Gardner.
Colton's still putting up times in the 14.5, 14.6 range. You know, we're now moving into lap 70 or into 71. Still putting up good times, but it's a lot closer than it was the first stint.
Absolutely. I'm also noticing that lap traffic is not as big of a issue as it was in the first half either, so maybe that has something to do with it. I know looks like they're starting to catch Fernando Takahashi, but he's still about a whole straightaway ahead of them. But Eric Richardson, that last time by was actually quicker than Dylan Behrens in the number 1, and Eric Richardson's starting to fight back once again. It's been a very exciting battle for the podium this race.
I think Dylan had a bit of a wall scrape the last lap, and that's almost gave Eric a window. He's closing.
Yeah, and he's closing quick. Looking back just a tiny little bit, Ian Miller in the 48 and Brian McKinney running closer together. Brian McKinney's starting to put the heat on Ian Miller, who's also having a really strong run tonight. Ian Miller was up there fighting for the podium in the first half, and it looks like he might be able to, if any of the other two have incidents, the number 48 and the number 8 are going to be right there to capitalize.
Oh, Eric's going to make a move on Dylan.
Eric to the inside and actually gets into the back of him. And Dylan is able to save it. Really good save by the number 1.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Really, the number 1 able to keep his car alive, but definitely lost all of his momentum. And that was almost like a commentator curse, actually, because I was just talking about how Ian Miller could have a really strong run if... Oh, and Ian Miller gets into the back of Eric Richardson. And Eric Richardson, where'd he go? I lost him. He's able to keep his car alive too, but kind of the rinse and repeat from the previous lap. Eric Richardson falls back to 4th place now.
All right, who are we going to jinx next?
I don't know. I feel kind of bad about that because the exact 2 people I was talking about both had incidents back to back. As the number 45 lapped car, they're able to get around smoothly. So now the battle between Ian Miller and Brian McKinney.
Eric's he's about a second and a half behind Brian for 3rd right now. He's chasing him, but the question is, did he get any damage? Is that going to slow him down at all?
And it actually looks like Dylan Behrens is starting to blink a lot. So not really sure. He might pull it down off the racetrack just to get out of everybody's way, but he seems to be blinking tremendously at the moment.
I don't see any damage on Eric's car, but after that incident, his times have dropped. I mean, he's slipped into the 15.2, there's a 15.6, 15.8 in there.
Yeah, right now under threat by the number 69 of Jesse Fox. Eric Richardson just needs to... He probably got a little nervous and shaken up there when he got tapped, but he just needs to cool his head a little bit. and he can be right back into the fight. He's only about 3 seconds from Brian McKinney, as he looks like he lets Jesse Fox in the number 69 by. But just being nice. But Colton Gardner going back on his tear now after those incidents, almost 5 seconds ahead of the number 48 machine of Ian Miller. Closest battle, though, is between Ian Miller and Brian McKinney. Only about 2 to 3 tenths. Oh, here's somebody, reckon. Oh, big incident between Fernando Takahashi and Lane Snow. Not really sure what happened there. Let's see if we can go back. Oops. See if we can go back and see what happened there.
Looks like Fernando just kind of drifted up a little bit into him.
Yeah, they're both running side by side, and he just goes up, and they go in. Unfortunate for those two drivers, but it looks like they still managed to keep it going. Definitely an interesting turn of events in the end of this race with only 9 laps to go.
We should make this race longer next time.
Maybe. This race flew by. Not really sure what the session time is right now.
I mean, we're only at about 30 minutes right now, so it's we usually budget for about 37, 38 minutes of racing with the rest of the time for the stage break, and that stage break was pretty short tonight, so maybe we'll have to change that in the future.
Yeah, but only 6 laps to go now. Colton Gardner did a great job, avoided the chaos, but it didn't come as easy as other races have. In the beginning of this race, he actually had to fight with the 13 of Eric Richardson to get past him. But definitely Bristol madness, short track craziness on full display here tonight.
Ian's got about a half-second lead over Brian for second right now. We're running out of time for Brian to catch him.
Yeah, about just under 3 laps to go. We do have the lap car of John Miles coming up quickly. It doesn't look like he's going to be a huge factor. Actually, real quick, Eric Richardson on the move once again, looking to the outside of Jesse Fox. And is able to get 4th place back. Right in front.
Chasing both of them.
Yep. And Colton Gardner comes off of turn 4, and Colton wins here at Bristol. Really strong run. We got Ian Miller comes home in P2. Then we got Brian McKinney comes home in P3. A strong run from him. Eric Richardson is able to recover and comes home P4. And Jesse Fox comes home P number 5. Fernando Takahashi P6. Dylan Brenz P7. John Miles P8. Lane Snow P9. Mark Willett P10. Bill Mulfield P11. And rounding out the field, last but not least, is
I'm here.
as Colton Gardner burns it down. Go ahead. Bring a couple drivers in. See who we got. Colton in and Ryan Discord right now. But we'll get started with interviews here with Ian Miller. Ian Miller, driver of the number 48 machine, brings it home P2. Good, strong run from him tonight. Ian, tell me about your night.
Yeah, I mean, I just focus on trying to keep my uh, tires good. I think I accidentally nosed Eric out in the second half there. That was not at all how I want to get that, but I'll run with it. No, I feel like it was a pretty good race. I think the car felt really good. I really like these tighter setups. So
Yeah, I definitely may have accidentally commentator cursed both Eric Richardson and Dylan Behrens because literally one lap before I was talking about how their battle was going to be interesting and how you and Brian McKinney, your guys' battle, was going to play into the overall podium position. And as I was talking about that, Eric Richardson got into the quarter panel of the number one, and then you got into the quarter panel of Eric Richardson, and then you guys ended up finishing 2 and 3,
yeah,
and it was very interesting.
yeah. I mean, I think just went in a little bit hotter than what my front tires could handle, and just understeered a little bit. But yeah, I think this is my first podium on an actual oval track. So hey, I'll take it. I'll take the paycheck.
Definitely a really strong run tonight. Excellent performance. You came back. It looked like in the start of the second half you were a little bit lower in the standings, but you were able to fight back strongly and finish P2. So.
Yeah, yeah. I spin the pits. Just accidentally hit the gas instead of the brake, a mistake we've all made. And yep, just got a quick black flag, so I had to start from the back of the pack. But yeah, no, I managed to claw my way up to P2.
All right, well, good run tonight, and I think that's all I have for you. So, good job.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye. And your winner tonight, going 3-4-4 so far this season, having a really dominant season, is Colton Gardner. You had quite a dominant run, but it didn't start out so dominant, and you had an actually really strong and good battle with Eric Richardson there in the beginning of the race. So, Colton, tell me about your night.
That first stunt, it was a challenge there. Eric had some really good speed tonight. It's awesome seeing that out of him and seeing how far he's coming along. Um, but it just came down to taking care of your tires. That top lane, if you didn't run it right, it really burnt the tires up really badly. Um, but the name of the game at this track is just keeping pace. And if them tires go away, they get too hot because of the high banking. It just makes the car uncontrollable and it don't want to turn.
Yeah, we've seen it a couple times this season, but lap traffic, it seems like you put pretty much the half the field a lap down, and I'm sure it probably wasn't easy to wiggle your way through the lap traffic. So how did you keep your head clear to make sure you got through the lap traffic safely?
I just tried to keep an open mind every time I got to somebody's bumper. Because you don't know if they're going to let you go high, let you go low, if they're going to race you like they're Ryan Newman or what. Um, so once I got up to somebody, I just saw if they were going to pull off or if they were going to race me. I mean, it just comes down to that really. But luckily, everybody tonight raced with a lot of respect. It's really awesome racing with everybody in this league and seeing stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, real quick before I let you go, I know you have a couple people that you want to thank.
Oh yeah, I'd like to thank French Broad for being on board again this week. Jeffy Lube, Carolina Legion, um, Carolina Castle Gearing Creations, Dubby, Moza, everybody that helps make this thing run. It's awesome to get everybody back in victory lane again.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
And I think that's all I have for you tonight. So you, Colton, go ahead and enjoy the rest of your night.
Yes, sir. You do the same. Good broadcast tonight.
Thank you. And DJ, unless you have anything else you want to throw in here, I think it's about time to wrap it up.
No, thank you for letting me crash the booth again. Hopefully this is the last time this season I have to do this.
Hey, it's okay. Another voice is always appreciated.
Yep, fine job tonight as usual.
Thank you. All right. Well, that should be it for us here at Stadium Scene TV. Tune in next week. We're going to be kicking off February strong at Phoenix Raceway. So definitely be here same time, same place next week. But that's all I have for you tonight. My name is Hunter, and I will see you all next week. Goodbye.